Okay. Right, let me just set this up because it's all a bit wonky. Right, this is my first video in 4 months. It's been a very long time. I actually forgot how much I love doing these, but just recently, Rachel, I'm not going to say her last name just in case, you know, some people get funny, she messaged me to tell me that she really enjoyed my videos, and it really spurred me on because I felt like, you know, someone obviously enjoys them and I really hope that she's not the only one, so I'm doing it again. I've got my bullet points here. I just wanted to say as well, I'm very aware of the fact that in my videos I like a lot. I don't actually do that in real life. I think it's just because I know that the camera's on me, and if I actually don't do it, then I'll probably like not be able to speak as well. So I am extremely aware of that, but never mind. I'm just going to cross off my bullet points as I go. So that was really fine. So last night I went out to get curry, ended up having 3 beers, and I had the worst hangover of my life this morning. After 3 beers, can you believe? So I'm going to kick this off with the fact that I'm leaving Wales again. Can't keep away from England for some reason. I've decided that it's a really good move. It's going to be really scary, but otherwise I'm never going to be ready. I'm just going to keep putting it off, and like, you know, things have to change, and I think moving is one surefire way for that to happen. Just in case I didn't make a point of this before, I really appreciate Rachel messaging me because it's given me a lot of hope. And she also said a quote that I've never heard before in my life, which is full bore, and it means maximum effort, like maximum capacity. I've been using that quite a lot in my day-to-day life. So just going to skip back, you know, how ADHD fee back in the game. So I basically posted a Facebook post about karma, and my beautiful cousin Emma sent me about 5 or 7 books all around it, and it actually really helped me make the decision to move, because they all talk about like now's the time, like don't delay, and it really has changed a lot of how I feel about things. I find with books like that, sometimes when you read them, you have to read them to put them into practice, if you get what I mean. Also, I'd like to just mention that my brows are, obviously I can't see this until I turn it around, but nonetheless, my brows are probably in better shape than they were. Remember I mentioned about the wonky brow? I haven't actually touched them for a good few weeks, and I think that they probably look better, fingers crossed, because they're like Bushman eyebrows. Okay, so I'm just going to go in as well. I have been really into skincare lately, and I haven't been wearing any makeup because the sun was out and it gave me a tan, and I also went on the sunbed, which I know is a bit 50-50, but sometimes if you've got like eczema and stuff, it can really help, and I found that like it's made me just have a lot more confidence being tanned than I would have being pasty white person, which unfortunately for me is the case. So I've been using this thing called the Fox Tan, and you've probably seen it advertised. It's all over Instagram, and I really like it. It smells really good, but in the pictures I think they're like way more intense with, like, you know, for me, I'm not sure how much it helped. But there is one thing that I absolutely swear by, and I cannot tell you enough. I'm going to literally get the tube. This stuff, okay? I read about this the other day, so I use it all the time for everything. It's like, I can't even describe to you how much this saved my life. Like, I read about it and people are saying it's just overpriced Vaseline, but it's not supposed to be used as Vaseline. Like, it's for open wounds and nappy rash and cuts and stuff like that. And it's bloody brilliant. Can't fault it. To be honest, I think it's amazing. And I know I keep going on about it, but you will, if you buy some of this and try it, it works like a dream. Can't get enough. So as far as I could say skincare goes, that's the one you need. So I've been thinking as well about something else that I'd like to do, which would be a fashion sort of channel, not in a sense of buying new clothes, etc., but the charity shop. So I'm a big fan of the charity shop anyway. Today was a really good day. I had a huge haul. I was loving life, and I basically found some really great things, which I'm going to show you now. because the channel would be, if you think about it, Fifi's Fashion. It's like savvy prices. However, I will say, charity shops are so expensive nowadays. Well, like, one of them is, I blame Macklemore for doing that song, because before they were really uncool and everyone used to be like, oh, you shop in a charity shop, that's horrid. Well, no. And now everyone's in there and the prices probably quite extreme where I live because it's in the middle of nowhere, but went into there today and they have trousers. They were just literally kind of like pyjama trousers, £20 they wanted for these trousers. I could buy myself some like really great brand new threads for 20 quid. Joke. And it just, I know that it probably sounds a bit harsh, but you know, charity shops are supposed to be cheap. Isn't that the whole point? When you grab a bargain? I don't know. Unpopular opinion. Anyway, so that was that. And today I found two things which I'm going to use all the time, and then I can't wait to show you the most amazing thing. So this mirror, which looks like probably nothing, and you pull it out. Ooh, and literally it's got like a little stand and everything, so it like sits up, and I use a train all the time and I don't wear makeup, so being able to just whip out my little mirror. Second thing I bought is a bag, which is a bit of a joke, but like Gucci knockoff. And look at this bad boy, all the G's. I love this bag, it's perfect, fits over your shoulder, and from a distance, how would you know? I mean, unless you're like a connoisseur of Gucci, in which case, hit me up. It cost me £3.50. Would you believe? £3.50 for a fake Gucci bag. Also, I'm really obsessed with Fendi, and I hope that one day I've got enough money to buy myself some Fendi tights, because they're like £350, and regular people, like probably you and I, rip their tights, and I don't really fancy paying 350 quid for a pair of tights that I'm going to rip in one go. So, the other thing I bought today, this is probably the best thing I've ever bought in my life, okay? It is a bee cushion, and it folds in half, okay? And so, my mum was there, and I tell you, look at this little face, what more could you want in your life? And I bought two of them, okay? Because they were £1 each, and when I went into there, I started chatting to my mum about things, and I said to her, there's a new law, I don't know if this is true, but I want to believe that it is, so I'm going to. There's a new law that guinea pigs in a country, I think it might be Poland or somewhere, you can't buy one on its own, you have to buy two because they get lonely. And so I bought this one first, and then I talked to her, and I thought, do you know what, I have to go and get the other one. So now I have two. Also, extremely handy for travelling on the train. I'm just thrilled about this. Right, so I'm now going to go on to some fun food facts, because you know how I always love to talk about food. It's one of my favourite things in the world, and moving from this hotel is going to be like so depressing. The food here, I can't even describe to you. The pate, the roulade, the fucking, I know I shouldn't swear, I'm trying to remember to do that. The lamb, they do this lamb, and it's like, I can't even tell you. You should come to the Charade and literally try the food, because it's great. Anyway, the other day, I invented, / probably didn't, my own cocktail, and I took it round for everyone to try, and as far as I can tell, it went down a treat. And it doesn't take much to make people happy, because I just made it and I just took it round, and everyone was like loving life, because it's vanilla milk, which you can get from Co-op, with some vodka, Tia Maria and ice. Sounds very similar to a White Russian, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to just pretend that I invented this cocktail because it was really luscious. And which brings me on to prawn cocktail. I actually thought this was just a Christmas thing. I thought only had it at Christmas as a starter, but it turns out it's like a British favourite. Mental. And also, so, right, I'll tell you two really funny things which I've only just really recently found out, which is A, I thought Bisto was called our Bisto. So it's actually just Bisto. You might know this, but I didn't. I've been calling it our Bisto my whole life. But the funniest one of all is, so, you know when you go, well, I've never actually been, but you know like the cocktail parties where they carry these trays of like appetizers? I thought they were called hors d'oeuvres. That's how they're spelled. And if you ever played Sims, when they told you to make food and it was hors d'oeuvres, I've called them this my whole life, and it turns out they're actually called hors d'oeuvres. Didn't know that, and I must have said it about a million times. Like, just, I got the absolute mix taken out of me for that. So that's the thing. A fun fact for you is spiders hate vanilla. I learnt this off my vanilla milk bottle. But if you put vanilla pods around your house, chances are those 8-legged little creeps won't be coming in. I haven't tried this, but you know. So secondly, I want to go on to talk about 2 films from my childhood, which I would highly recommend everybody watch, which is George of the Jungle, but the one with like Brendan Fraser, do you remember? It's really funny, and now that I'm an adult, you can see they use like a real lion, but then when he's fighting, it's like a toy. It's really funny. And also, Quest for Camelot, which is like a musical, but the animation is amazing and there's really hilarious bits in it. Like, we watched it, there's a 2-headed dragon and it starts singing. Literally the best thing, you can buy it for like £6 I think, and it's so bloody hilarious. Basically the best film of all time. Well, we can all have our opinions on that, but it's well worth a watch. So, basically, I know that this has kind of been a bit crazy, but I thought I'd just get back into it, you know, and just sort of chuck myself out there, because if I take this seriously, I think this could be something I would really quite passionately like to do, possibly not on this scale, but if I was to actually put my mind to it and maybe start a blog or something, or just keep doing this. So I'm really glad that she messaged me, because I feel like it was the best thing ever. I'm really grateful to you. And I'd like to leave you with some fun facts that you could learn next week if you tune in. But before I do that, if you have Spotify, I would highly recommend that you download a Discover Weekly, because it actually keeps me going. New music is so important, and every time, like every week on a Monday, they give you a whole new playlist, and some of the songs I've heard on there have just like made my life, basically. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about next week, or whenever, is falling over and how funny I find it. And I've got loads of hilarious stories to tell you, some of them being about me and some about being others. Pigs, I learnt loads of facts about pigs on Countryfile, and I've never forgotten it. It's amazing, so you need to know about this. It's one of those things you just need to have in your life. And birds. I actually love birds, and I'll tell you next time about this fact my mum told me today, because it's really quite something. Ooh, the suspense is killing me. Basically, I'm going to leave you with a little thing that my sister, I actually stole it from her, but I don't think she knows how often I use it. It was years and years ago, which is my opera singing face, and it goes like this. That is something everyone should use. So, basically, there we are. Straight back in the game. Hope you liked it. And, yeah, that's all really. I'm going to take this bee and go for my snooze now. Just going to finish my glass of red wine. Basically, I hope you've had a great time. Please tune in next time for all the facts I just told you about. Bye-bye now. Thanks for coming.